Welcome to Tranquil Freedom. This will be a very quick run through showing you where things are and describing how they work, and you will receive a river trial as a separate thing when you arrive at the boatyard. So your engine is underneath the compartment that you're focusing on at the moment. We'll show you that in a second. Over here we have a toilet and shower compartment. This button in the wall here powers a pump that drains the shower compartment. If you do not operate that, the shower compartment will flood into the gangway over here. The pump only works whilst you press the button. Over here we have a loo. Sorry guys, yeah, the standard instructions here. It's not pleasant, I know. There's your toilet bowl over here to the left. There is a pedal and it opens the valve underneath, and over in the side. With my left hand we operate a flush. It's a bit grubby because this is flushing with river water. Perfectly normal. It's not a very large tank underneath there. Do not overfill it. You can see exactly what level the tank is at by pushing your foot on the pedal, and the button that you require is in the side panel just there. Behind the loo is a plaque telling you how to use it. Please do not put anything down the loo that you haven't eaten. Toilet paper is the only exception to that rule. So in the galley we've got a big work surface. We have a fridge underneath the counter there. We have a 4-burner hob and a grill and oven underneath. So, to light the gas, it's vital that you strike a match before any gas comes out. This is because the gas that is in the bottles is heavier than air. If it escapes into the boat, it becomes an explosion risk because it can't escape, it just sinks. You push the required knob, turn it, gas comes out, light, and hold the knob in for a further 2 or 3 seconds, and then release. And the gas will stay lit. If you release too soon, the gas will go out. That lighting procedure is the same for all of the burners, whether it's on the hob or whether it's the grill or the oven. If you wish to use the television, you must plug in the inverter. On this boat it's typically stored in the drawer or one of these cupboards underneath the television. This is a plug-in type inverter, and it connects to a socket down here. This plugs in there. Check that you have a green light on, and now you can plug your television in and it will operate. You must not leave this inverter plugged in unnecessarily. It will drain your batteries and cause everything else not to work. Only plug this in when you need it. For charging your mobile phones, you have a double set of USB chargers there. Please do not charge things by plugging in the inverter and running off a standard home power supply for your phones. It will flatten your batteries unnecessarily. Hanging beside the front door is the key that opens the water filler on the deck. We recommend that you fill your water tanks every single day. And here's the water filler on the starboard side of the vessel. So, your daily engine checks need to be your oil, water and weed filter. Your weed filter check is under this cap. Whatever you do, do not drop this cap. You can't run the engine without it on. You must fish it out from wherever you've dropped it. Inside we have a cartridge which needs to be clear of any weed. Pop the cap back on. It's a simple thread. It does not need to be tight. Just snug up to the final point. Your engine coolant check is underneath a standard radiator cap. Whatever you do, do not open this if it is hot. Inside you should be able to see water. As long as you can see water, it's going to be fine. It does not want to be topped up to the top because it will expand out, cause a mess, and it will make you think that there's something wrong with it. So long as you can see water, it's fine. You need to do an oil check, and the dipstick is over here. Take it out and do not take any notice of the first reading. Wipe it on a piece of paper and push it back in to get another reading. You may need a torch to be able to see down there, and when you push it home, make sure you get the clank that you've hit the bottom, otherwise you'll get a false reading. The reading you now receive is a good reading, and you can see that it's between the minimum and maximum, which is fine. Only please top up if the oil is below the minimum level, and there's only about half a litre between the minimum point and the maximum point. Wipe it again before putting it back, otherwise you will create oil spills down the side of the engine. And remember, push it home. And that's your daily engine checks. They must be done in the morning before you start the engine. Don't ignore them, because if you do, something might go wrong that you could have prevented beforehand. They must be done, please. And there's a label here that says don't open whilst running. Please follow that, because there are moving parts moving very fast inside here. So this is the main engine control. If you push the lever forward, the boat will go forward, and the further you push it, the faster it goes. If you put it in line with the mark, it's in neutral, and if you pull backwards, the boat will reverse. And again, the further you push it, the faster it goes. What you can't see on this control is that there is a button, and it's in the centre of the lever down here. You can feel it. When the lever is in line with the mark, if you press the button, you can move the lever, and it becomes quite floppy by comparison before. And now the engine is out of gear, so all we're doing as we move that is increasing or decreasing the revs. But the moment you turn it back to that point, you will feel that it re-engages, and at that point it's back into gear again. So what do you want to do to start up? As with any vehicle, you don't want it in gear, you have to get it out of gear. So line it up with the mark, press the button and push forward. The key has a number of positions here. That's the off position. That's the run position. It's the same as turning the ignition on in your car. Now we have a different position here, which is sprung loaded. We get the glow plug light on. Now this is preheating the engine, which is what you need to do for about 30 seconds if the engine is cold. But you see, if I let go, the light goes off. It's not like a modern car where it's almost instant or timed. You have to hold this. Count to about 20, maybe 30. And when you're up to that kind of number, turn the key further and the engine should start. And at that point, it's like a car, just leave the key where it is. Unlike a car though, if you do that, clearly the engine is still running, which provides you with an issue here because the charge fault light is on. At this point, we are not charging the batteries, and they are vital here. So the key must be left in the run position, otherwise you're not charging the batteries. No lights should be on at this stage. So our gauges are oil pressure, temperature, battery voltage. We're not bothered by battery voltage unless something goes wrong. Don't pay any attention to it generally. We are bothered by engine pressure, and this will change depending on the engine temperature. So when the engine's cold, the needle will be roughly in the middle. When the engine warms up, it will be right the way down there at about 1 bar. That's absolutely fine. So long as that is reading something, we're good. What we are interested in is the engine temperature, because the engine will sit at about 80 degrees when it's at normal running temperature. Anything over 80 degrees, we start having a problem. 90 degrees, something is definitely wrong. You must stop the engine and give us a call. And to stop the engine, pull out that knob. If you don't push it back in, the engine will not restart. So make a habit, when you stop, press it all the way home. And once you've stopped the engine, you must turn the key off, otherwise the charge light will remain on and you can damage the charging system by leaving it there. If you're running the engine just to charge the batteries, make sure that the engine is not running at idle. Run it faster than idle in order to charge the batteries better. In the rear cabin we have a carbon monoxide alarm, and in the galley over the engine we have a fire smoke detector. There is a fire blanket Next to it, along with an extinguisher there is also an extinguisher down here by the front door. And your exits are, well, pretty obvious to you. You have a sunroof, the forward door, and of course the back door. And that's the end of our introduction to Tranquil Freedom. Thank you for watching. If you've not already seen the basic safety and introduction video, please watch that. There is a link appearing at the top of the screen right now. If you've watched all of these things, then you will find your handover goes swiftly once you arrive. Take care and have a safe journey.